Hello, everybody. I'm Daniel Montiglio from Foreigner BG, and today, in our new section, Ask the Expert, we are with Marco Jara. Marco Jara is a foreigner living in Bulgaria. I'm going to speak with him about how to work from home in an efficient way. Hello, Marco.
Hi, Daniel. How are you?
I'm very good. I'm talking to you from Varna. You are in Sofia. How is the weather there?
The weather is very nice outside, very sunny, beautiful, and we're all stuck inside.
Yes, yes, that's true. I want to. I know you work in an international company. You are manager of a big team, and you are used to work remotely. That's why I ask you to give us some tips about what the people that for first time are facing these challenges they can do to keep the motivation, to keep the productivity up, and stuff like that. And I prepare a few questions. We can start.
I'm ready.
You ready? Great. The first question number one is, what is the biggest challenge for working remotely?
Well, the problem is not really working remotely. It's right now we have to look at it in a different way. We're working purely remotely every day from home. Okay, working remotely, if you work a couple of days a week, for example, it's not a big issue. Okay, because you're going to the office, you're coming back home, and you can deal with this. But working right now under the current conditions is very, very tough. The challenges is you have to have a good equipment set up, you have to have good internet, as we were talking before, you have to have good headphones, you have to have a structured day. Very, very important. You have to structure your day, because right now I think we're gonna go on, but there are the technical issues and the psychological issues that you have to resolve before you start working from under the present conditions from home.
Mhm. What are the technical issues that you see with your team and stuff like that at the moment?
At the moment, what I see the problems is that the lack of bandwidth with the internet. So, for example, if you want to use any kind of visual like this type of meeting, and you have more than a few people, like five, six, it can get a little bit hard. You lose people, you lose voice, you lose connectivity. If you want to present something, it can get tough. So basically, right now, the hardest thing is to have good internet. But then again, for example, if we have laptops and you're used to working in an office and you have a big desktop machine, you're gonna have a big monitor. You're gonna have a problem working in a tiny laptop. I have a very tiny laptop, so what I have at home also is a monitor and a docking station, so I can use both. It makes my life much easier.
All right, all right. And which advice you will give to people that is working remotely for the first time? The office is shut down, and there are already a couple of weeks working here, and we don't know when the situation is going to change.
Well, right now, I will say you should structure your day accordingly as if you were in the office. So, for example, you have your meetings and so on. That's planned. But what you should be careful with is to take breaks. It's important that if you're very, very busy working on it, it's very easy to get lost in your work. You could start whatever time in the morning, and before you know it, it's lunchtime, and you keep going. I know people that can work for 6 hours nonstop. They haven't moved out of their chair. They haven't even gone to get water. So you actually have to look after yourself, because we don't know how long you're gonna be doing this. So you have to structure yourself accordingly. I mean, this is if you're lucky, if you're living by yourself. But if you have a family, it's going to be a little bit different, and then you have to make separate adjustments there. But let's say that for the moment, you're alone, you're working from home. In this case, take breaks. Make sure you drink water. Make sure that you move around, flex your body. You
Mhm.
know, it is very important. Make sure that you have a proper lunch, because at work, if you're in a physical work environment, you probably, in a beautiful day like today, you go outside, maybe spend an hour with your colleagues having something. Make sure you do the same at home. Put away that machine. Stop answering the email. Stop answering the phone. Take a break. Relax your mind. It's very, very important. So make sure have a very structured day in the same way that you will have in the office. Otherwise, you're really going to burn out.
Mhm. And in the psychological aspect, how you keep the connection between the team and all these new issues that are generated by working remotely?
Well, yeah, we are separated physically, so you need to bring connectivity between yourself as a leader or manager with your team, or bring the team together. There are many things you can do. For example, you can have virtual lunch. Nothing stopping you guys, in a team, agreeing to meet for lunch in Zoom or whatever tool you're using, and just having a chat. If you're alone at home, don't be alone at home. Sit with your favorite colleagues, friends, have a chat, eat with them, talk to them. Continue to do some things that you will normally do in an office environment. For example, different offices have different celebrations, celebrating people's birthdays, name days. Continue with that. You shouldn't stop these things. These things should go on, but in a virtual world. Have connectivity with the people, your colleagues. Other things we do, for example, we have uh, in our SharePoints, for example, where we are posting pictures of what is happening to us, what is happening to individuals, making fun. These are non-work related activities. So to continue to have a connectivity with each other, because we do have connectivity in the sense of meetings, work meetings, and so on. But you need to keep the social aspect going too.
Yeah, that's very important. What about the how to keep yourself motivated? Nobody's looking at you. You could better to not start at 9, start at 10, let's say. Nobody's controlling you.
Well, that's an interesting question, because I think it doesn't change from the physical environment, the work in an office, to moving at home. If you're not motivated in an office, you're definitely not going to be motivated when you're working at home. Maybe it'll make it worse, but I don't think so. I think motivation, it's always there, and it's up to you and your manager, okay, to find the activities that are going to motivate you to be productive. Yes, there's a possibility, if for whatever reason. So for example, say that your business has lost some business, you got free time. Yes, it's possible that you're going to sleep a little bit more, maybe you're going to finish earlier, whatever the case might be. But if your work is not suffering, that's okay. But if you begin to suffer, your work begins to suffer, then again we go back to what you asked before. You need to have a structure in your day. You really structure yourself. You have to have your meetings, you have to have your targets, and what you have to have a plan in the morning, what you are going to achieve by the end of the day. That doesn't change. So
Yeah.
I think these things will help you.
And now from the other side, what about the managers like you that they have to uh, for one side understand the situation and for the other side to keep the results? How you do that? How you have that balance?
Well, I'm lucky in the way my team is structured. My team is senior people. So again, it depends on what kind of team you have. If you have a very young team, fresh from the university, you have to pay more attention. You have to keep an eye on them, not physical eye, but you need to see what they're doing, how they're progressing. But I am lucky. Most of the people in my team are senior, so we we still have to talk to each other, have progress meetings, discuss how things are going, but it's very soft. And it's usually, in my case, I'm lucky because it's more driven by my team itself. They come to me, Marco, I got a question. Can we discuss this or that? And we move on from that. So I'm lucky this way. But I said, if you had a junior team, what you're going to have to do then is probably you're going to spend more time having meetings with them, regular meetings, discussing with them. But then again, it depends on the size of the team, because, for example, there's a difference having a team of 5 people to having a team of, say, 30 or 40 people.
Yes.
So,
What about the because I've been working from home in periods during my working career, about 5 years, 3 years, and stuff like that. But always I was working from home without the rest of my family. My family was working, my family was in the school or somewhere else. Now I'm working from home, but they are also at home.
that's a really tough one too, because today, for example, I was in a senior management meeting, lots of managers there, and you can hear the kids talking in the background, you know, and these people are very senior, and you have to just accept that this is the way things are going to be. You can try to plan it. I mean, if you're lucky, for example, and you live in a large apartment in Bulgaria, which there are not many large apartments, to be honest, but if you were lucky, then you could perhaps create an area where you're isolated and you can do your meetings and so on. But unfortunately, I think now you have to be more thoughtful in terms of how you plan your day, your meetings around your family. So if say you have kids who are going to homeschool, they're sitting in the computer and so on in a different room, perhaps this is the ideal time for you to organize your meetings, because you know they're busy. You can organize your meetings in parallels because they're not going to come to you. If you know they're going to be free, then perhaps you do other activities that they're not going to disturb you. But it's just juggling activities now. Becomes a little bit harder. You know, you have to find free times where you can do those things that you need privacy, when you have private moments. But then again, everybody in the world right now is under the same condition, I believe. So we are more forgiving. I think we're more understanding right now. I hope I answered that question.
That's very important. Yeah, that's very important, that we have to be everybody, you know, try to be more flexible, try to be more understandable, and maybe we cannot keep the same pace that we are when we are having everybody, all the team in the office, but and keep the morale up, the high spirits in the team, you know.
Indeed. For sure, we have to understand the situation everybody is in. I mean, in my team, for example, we have people who, in the team itself, they're amazing. They work incredibly hard. But right now, the thing is, especially mothers are having it very tough. They have two jobs usually. Or if you're a single parent, you're gonna have two jobs. You're gonna have your kids, and you're gonna have your work at the same time. And that's pretty tough. We didn't talk in the previous questions about that, but right now you have an extra level of stress that somehow you have to release somehow. And my recommendation to parents somehow is to be able to remove that stress. I'm not sure if you're going to ask it, but you need to find ways to remove that stress. So whenever you have some time, you have to dedicate a little bit of time for yourself. Move away from your family, move away from your work. If you play an instrument, play that instrument. If you can find some way to exercise, even if it's in the same building, just walk up and down the stairs. But you need to release this stress. It is very important.
I think the tips are being very helpful, Marco. I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us. I know you're a busy guy.
Well, it's my pleasure to be here with you, and wishing everybody who is working from home all the best. And remember that it's gonna be temporary. We're gonna go back, and just to be careful with their health. Take care of yourselves and your families.
Thank you very much, Marco. Have a good day.
It was my pleasure. Thank you, Daniel. Bye bye.
Bye bye.